Friends, come and join us for a tour of us leading you through Henry Ford's museum in Dearborn, Michigan. We'll get to see his race cars. We'll get to see some very expensive cars, Kennedy's car. We'll get to see some cars that I think we might need to buy one. Yeah, right. And I just hope that you will enjoy seeing all that we saw, and it might encourage you to go see it for yourself if you haven't been there already. Okay, so the first thing we come in contact with here is this 1891 Abbott Downing Concord coach. And it shows us that it was built in New Hampshire. And you can see what I presume is the original paint on it. And these leather or canvas side curtains that roll down or up. The step boards here. And there's the lantern, probably a gas light. This would be the front where the coachman would sit up there. Here we have a horse-drawn streetcar from 1875. From my understanding, they would have horses pull this on a railroad track during the time, obviously, that the train wasn't coming. Here's a steam carriage from 1865. People actually paid to see these things run around a track. Here's an original example of Ford's, one of his first cars, the Quadricycle from 1896. It says that Henry Ford was not the man that invented the car, but he invented this car. He was one of many who were trying to invent horseless carriages. So this is his Quadricycle, 2-speed and 2 cylinders. Looks like an Edison bulb back there on the back. Chain driven, there's the chain, like a bicycle chain. Here's the Texaco station from 1940 they've recreated here. Complete with public bell system telephones. Trampoline in the window. Closed front. And there's the phone up there on the wall. A 1904 Packard Model L, $3,000 in 1904. Look at all of that, isn't that beautiful? Wicker baskets, leather seats, brass. So this is the car in 1901 that Henry Ford won a race at Grosse Pointe, Michigan with. And the car is called Sweepstakes. Grosse Pointe is where I just carved 2 gravestones. And we were just in Grosse Pointe yesterday. Here is Henry Ford and Spider Huff. It takes 2 men to operate this race car. Here it is right here. And this established him in the racing industry, get him some money to start building his new company in 1903, I think. So if this is the car, it was at Grosse Pointe, Michigan in 1903. That's how it sounds. This is Chevrolet. He started the Chevrolet car, Swiss born, and was a race car driver. He dies here in Detroit in 1941. Louis Chevrolet. Here's a Packard, the second car to cross the whole United States. After a 61-day journey, the man says, "I do not care to make the trip again." I'm going to try to eat at Lammy's Diner here from the 40s. We're going inside the diner. Thank you. What do you think about that? Okay, so we notice here on the table in the diner is a Seaberg jukebox. So I guess you put the money in the top and you pick your song and it's connected to the jukebox somewhere here, which would be neat. The menu shows that this is from 1946. This diner was originally in Massachusetts, and it is a very limited menu items, and it says it's what they would have had in the day. So it's just soup and sandwiches basically, and of course malts and root beer floats, which I think we may try. Don't you think we may try? And then up on the ceiling we have the Seaberg speaker for the jukebox. Right there.
I'll be back with your pie. I can take it.
Thank you.
We've got to learn how to make a malt.
I know somebody that can teach us.
So by the 30s, said that people were starting to get less interested in staying at a fancy hotel, and so instead of camping out on the roadsides, they would actually find these little tourist cabins along the wayside. Here's one in 1929 in Maine, and we have actually seen just a few weeks ago up in Maine one of these, very similar to these. They still have these up there. They're more modern built, but it's the same concept, and we see them, quite a few of them up near Moosehead Lake. So this is an original that they have recreated that environment for you to see what it would have looked like. There's your roadside maps and things. Your suitcase, a little table stand and a chair. And the back, the potbelly stove to keep you warm. So this motorist cabin was built in 1936. So it is applicable to right after our Model A era. Really neat. Okay, Mom and Daddy, this is a 1959 Volkswagen Westfalia. This is what you guys need to get. This is probably what we need to get to go along with your Shasta. But look at this. It's an all self-contained first van camper. Isn't that clever? This is called the DeWitt Clinton from 1831. It is a reproduction from 1891, but it's made of original parts from 1830. So on the DeWitt Clinton, you can see these look like stagecoaches, but they're train cars. And that's how they would have looked in 1831. It's awesome. Finally made it inside of a locomotive. This is an 1941 Allegheny here at the Henry Ford Museum.
Okay.
a 1927 school bus made in Georgia, not far from where I live. And so this is probably, it said, the oldest known school bus still in America. And up until then, they were taking horses to school and things. And so it looks like one of the old coaches. You can see the roll down canvas tarp up there. So the Bluebird number 1, built with Ford product, is built by a Ford motor, but created into a bus in Fort Valley, Georgia. So this is a 1931 Bugatti Royale, only 6 made in the world, and just about 20 years ago in Pebble Beach, California, they had all 6 of them back together again. So this is one of the 6, and it sold for $43,000 back in the day. It would have taken an average man 31 years of an average salary to make up that expense. This is a Duesenberg here. We just thought we'd pick it up and bring it to the swap meet next month. So we'll let you know when we get it shipped down how well it drives. So in Canada, they have to put these on the front of their trains just to get down the track. 23. The $9.99 Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. This is the coach, or the carriage, made in 1902 in England for Teddy Roosevelt. It said that Teddy Roosevelt had a disdain for motor cars, and so he preferred the elegant carriages drawn by horses. So this was used by not only President Roosevelt, but also President Taft, President Woodrow Wilson, President Harding, and President Coolidge during their administrations. It's right here at Dearborn, Michigan, in the Henry Ford Museum. Here's the car that Kennedy was assassinated in. It's a Lincoln, built in 1961. They added the steel top later. But there's the Secret Service handles there. And of course, there's where he was sitting. So here is a Ford 8-in tractor from 1952, and behind it is a tobacco harvester, which seats 9 people on it. One person shucks the leaves, the other person ties it and puts it to the back where they stack the last with the leaves on it. And here's a picture of it being used. And then another picture of one of the workers sitting to do the work. So I just thought that was really interesting. I'm almost having a hard time believing this, but this says that this machine was made between 1835 and 40. It gins the cotton, cards the cotton, and then spins it onto the bobbins. And it's a compact little unit made by James and Thomas Pierce, 1835. I just have a hard time believing that. I never heard of such a thing.
So this is...
I want one. Here is a farm wagon from 1895 with high sides used to throw corn in, going through the field to harvest it. Really, really pretty. Here is a picture of one similar to it in use. 1952 Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, made specifically for the purpose to promote the sale of Oscar Mayer wieners, as one might imagine. And you can see it has nice coloring and sleek design. Here's their flintlock rifle display here. These are interesting. There's a pistol, but look at this. There's a normal size pistol. And here